Hey everyone, this is Patrick and I am here to do a Metal Tag 2024 response video. Shout out to the Rock Scout who usually puts these together, the Metal Tags. I know he at least did Metal Tag 2021, 2022, maybe he did 2020. This year's questions I should say, were created by both Marty Worm and Professor Steel or Alan from the Heavy Metallurgy channel and the Let's Talk Metal channel, respectively. We all know and love them, and I also believe that a tip of the hat should go to Mike from Metal Mikey. He also facilitated this year's questions. I really like this year's questions, so let's begin. Question 1 was discuss an album that you are looking forward to that is going to be released in 2024. So this hasn't been officially announced, but in terms of a name, in terms of a release date, but 20 Buck Spin did announce on Twitter that this band, Witch Vomit, will have another album coming out in 2024. This is one of my modern favorites. This was their EP from 2022, killer artwork, like killer meaning one of the best I've seen. Yeah, Witch Vomit play an extremely heavy style of death metal. Think of about the 2000 era Incantation for a good sort of reference point. But 20 Buck Spin on Twitter, they said Witch Vomit is going to bring it. They're bringing it up a level. They're rising to another level, and it's like, how could they even do that? Because they're already kick-ass. Undergang, Autopsy, Incantation style death metal, maybe even Outer Heaven. Yeah, Witch Vomit, their 2024 LP was one of my most anticipated albums of 2024. I will discuss who we are listening to in the back, by the way. If you can hear it, it is one of my answers, so momentarily I will tell you who that is. Let's see, next up, this was a hard question for me, and after I re-looked at my choice, I don't think I did it right. So, it was show an album that has a dragon on it, and this sounds like a power metal influence question, maybe a brutal death metal influence question. Well, power metal influence, most likely. This was my choice. Intestine Bowalism and Anatomy of the Beast came out in 1997. This is a melodic death metal band from Japan. I thought that big guy on there was a dragon, but he's definitely some kind of beast. Maybe he's slaying dragons? Maybe those are dragons that he's slaying? Maybe these are... yeah. This is my selection. I don't have any power metal albums. I don't have any brutal death metal albums that have dragons on them. Yeah, Intestine Bowalism came out in 1997. This is my choice for show an album that has a dragon on it. I tried. Okay, the third question was, show a favorite album that you picked up in 2023. I was going to show Horrendous, because Horrendous came out in 2023, and their new album, Ontological Mysterium, is my favorite album of the year. But this is who we are listening to. Possessed 7 Churches, this extreme metal classic. I was happy to pick this up finally on wax. We are listening to it, like I said. Is this death metal? I don't know. I tend to say no, but that's only because we know what death metal turned into. It's pretty close. It's thrashy. It's definitely the beginning stages of death metal. The vocals are really evil. The album art there is evil. So yeah, really happy to pick this up. One of my probably top 50 albums of all time, which is saying a lot. I think it still stands up. It's still fun to listen to. Some of the riff style even reminds me of like sort of more like late 90s, early 2000s metalcore bands. So there's a lot going on in this album. Possessed is still kicking ass, by the way. But this is their 1985 album, 7 Churches, and one of my favorite pickups of 2023. Okay. Question 4 was show an album that you picked up digitally, but you have no interest in picking up physically. And I don't normally buy digital albums, but I did see this one in my Bandcamp. I don't remember how I got it. Maybe it was just a digital download that I received for free. This is Scolopendra with VM18. Yeah, decent horror, definitely early 90s sounding death metal. Disastrous Murmur, Deicide, Morbid Angel for sure. Yeah, Scolopendra. I have this on my phone somehow, and I'm counting that as a digital pickup. I own it digitally, don't necessarily like it enough to pick it up on physical, at least at this moment. Question 5 was to show an album cover that doesn't necessarily reveal or illuminate what the album is going to sound like. And I chose this album, Bearing Teeth, Atrophy. This came out in 2011. And Bearing Teeth are a progressive technical death metal band from Dallas, Texas. And this ends up sounding like Gorguts and Artificial Brain, Ulcerate a little bit. It doesn't necessarily scream death metal. I didn't know it was going to be death metal when I think I got it in a grab bag. Yeah, that sounds right. But yeah, Bearing Teeth, Atrophy, really good technical progressive death metal. The album cover does not illustrate that, in my opinion. So question 6 was, what band do you have the most releases from or physical media from? And I didn't actually look that closely. I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. So this is definitely, yeah, I think this is the correct answer. I don't really think anybody comes close. I have a lot from Full of Hell. I have a lot from Death. But I think I actually have most. I think I have the most from Undergang. So I had everything from they're a Danish death metal band. I had everything from their debut album. I have all their albums, but I'm just going to show you a sampling. So yeah, I have everything from their debut album to their live album. They performed this in, forgot what city actually, but it's a killer live album. I don't pick up that many live albums. This is an awesome live album. To, let's see, yeah, to a couple of their splits. This is Anatomia Undergang split from last year, I believe. This is a split with Spectral Voice from this year. I'm sorry, last year, 2023, Undergang and Spectral Voice. Like I said, I have all their albums, including their last EP from 2023 on vinyl. So yeah, I have a shirt as well. So Undergang is my answer for the band that I have the most releases from. Number 7 was Show a Blind Buy, an album that you picked up that you haven't heard before. And I just picked this up in Philadelphia. Me and my girlfriend, my partner Natalie, were in Philadelphia visiting her family over the Christmas holiday. We went to a number of record stores. I'm still going to make a few videos regarding that. I luckily got to meet Rick from the Dreadful Minutes. I also got to meet Jeff from Gas, Mask, and Hand Grenades. More about that in a later video. But yeah, I picked up this. I haven't heard this before, but I like the band. I like everything I've heard of from this band. This is Dude, and this is their they put out a trilogy of albums together. I think this is part 3 of that trilogy. Dude play, they're from Belgium, I believe. They play a really dissonant, pretty heavy, fast style of black metal. Their latest album is how I first got into them. Their latest album from 2022. Yeah, this is what the album is called. So yeah, this is a blind buy. I found a used copy, so I didn't pay. I think I paid $16 for this. So killer. And yeah, I listened to it in the car on one of our destination and one of our trips, and it was amazing. I haven't listened to it on wax yet, but I'm going to soon. This is a blind buy from 2023 that I like a lot. So yeah, very good, weird, dissonant, riffy, and atmospheric black metal. Okay, so I turned the music down. That's why it sounds like I turned the music down. Let's continue. So the next question was show an album that you own on multiple media formats. And I own the 2022 death metal band Apparition's Feel debut album on CD, and I also own it on vinyl. When I put together my top 40 albums of 2022, I hadn't heard this album yet, but it was mentioned in the Decibel Top 40. 2021 maybe was when this came out. Either way, same story holds up. This has become one of my favorite death metal bands of this decade so far. So yeah, I own it on vinyl. I own it on CD. And I actually don't own that many albums on multiple formats. I'm starting to pick up I'm starting to do that, but I don't do it very often. Next was show your favorite t-shirt. And I do really like this Full of Hell shirt I'm wearing. Let me go ahead and put this down for a minute. Yeah, killer long sleeve, trumpeting ecstasy on one of the sleeves, and then one of their sort of album art. But I want to show one that immediately jumped to my mind, and that is this shirt right here. So this is the band Maul, and this is their Midwest Death Tour shirt. So this shirt does a lot of things right for me. It's a death metal band that has a cool logo that's in a different color than they normally have. It has sick artwork, right? There's a tank. Tanks are always cool, going through flames. Definitely has ran over some previous life on Earth. It says Midwest Death. It's a t-shirt that has sleeve art, so it says Midwest Death again. That's pretty cool. And then yeah, it's an untraditional, non-traditional metal colored shirt, which I like. It looks kind of old. Mallin' Across America Summer 2023 shirt. My tour date is right there, 6/24. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. So yeah, cool that a band like this had a big summer tour. Cool that I was able to find this shirt. When they came back last month, they didn't have any shirts like this available. So that is my choice for favorite band t-shirt I own. Question 11 was a sour grapes question, meaning what is an album that you picked up in 2023 that you were first excited about and now you no longer really are? So for that, I'm going to have to choose the new Uwada album. This is Crepuscular Natura. Pre-ordered it, got it in, and then the first spin on vinyl, I was like, I don't like this as much as I thought I did. I'm going to go back to it. It's, I think, a pretty good headphones album. A lot of atmosphere, a lot of melody. They really lean into heavy metal on this, even though it's a black metal project. But yeah, just started very high in my top 40 and totally fell out. But I like this band. I will still give it some listens, see if I want to keep it in my collection or not. But that is my Sour Grapes album of 2023. Question 12 was, what is the band that you would travel to see? I did just travel to see this band in part, but probably will do it again. But this is another opportunity to talk about this band and also show a cool shirt. So Horrendous, one of my favorite bands going right now. They had an small album release tour. I was able to go to the Philadelphia date, December 28th at Underground Arts. Really cool shirt. Yeah, Horrendous would be a band that I would travel to see again. I want to also go to Austin Death Fest, mostly to see Witch Vomit and Tomb Mold. I would travel to see Full of Hell. I would travel to see Converge. But yeah, that's my answer. I've noticed I just skipped one, so let me go back to it. Question 9 was actually show an album that is influenced by literature, and I'm going to show this Faceless Burial album. At the Foothills of Desription came out in 2022, a killer death metal band from Australia. If you like Blood Incantation, I think this band here is maybe even a little better. Came out on Misaka Un Oho Records in 2022. Killer Dan Seagrave artwork. The band themselves in an interview said that Side B is basically one piece, and it is inspired by Strugatsky's Hard to Be a God book. So there you go. That is my choice for question 9. Okay. Question 13. This might be a controversial choice. I know some people would agree with me, though, again, secretly or quietly, right? A band that has overstayed their welcome. So 3 came to mind. I'll say them. Immortal came to my mind. Cancer came to my mind. But this band, Morbid Angel, Altars of Madness. I like Covenant a little bit. I don't like Domination. Altars of Madness, they kind of peaked here at their debut album, even though they put one out later that was going to be their debut album. But yeah, Morbid Angel actually overstayed their welcome in my opinion. We all know why. We all really know why. Yeah. But I think they even overstayed their welcome before that album. Yes. Okay, so I did notice I did a couple of questions out of order. I wrote down my answers, thought that I would remember the questions, and I didn't sometimes, but oh well, this is fun. So, question 14 was show an album that you picked up because you saw somebody on Metal YouTube show it off, and I have to show this one. This is Pale Swordsman by Kekt Urak from Ukraine. They covered this on Heavy Metallurgy's album review show on Wednesday. Yeah, cool album. I actually do not like the debut album at all. So he did something special here. I like it. Love the bass lines. Like how raw-ish it sounds. Emotional. Emo black metal right here. This is Kekt Urak is going to be my choice for a show and album that you purchased because you saw somebody on Metal YouTube talk about it. A good album that is too long. Couple of candidates for this, but any album that's over an hour long is too long. I've never ran into one that I thought needs to be that long. This is the collaboration album by Thal and Mizmer from last year. It is 8 tracks and 75 minutes of music, and it is black and doom, funereal speed sometimes. Yeah, cool album, great album. I like every song. It's extremely heavy. It's extremely good. It's an hour and 14 minutes long, and that's too long. That is my choice for a great album that is too long. Here's where I reverse the question. So I'm going to answer the question, show a band that can do no wrong. I mentioned them already. Horrendous, I'm on board for, so far, for wherever this band goes. Love the progression. This is progressive death metal. They bring in prog rock, they bring in Judas Priest, they bring in Voivod on this album. They started as an HM2 worship death metal album, nods to Morbid Angel and Death on their first album, all over the place. Horrendous can do no wrong in my opinion. Show a band that has been around for the entire century so far, so for at least 24 years, that is still putting out great album that is still creative and still relevant. I liked Mike's answer because he chose Metallica, because he said they're not relevant to me, but they're clearly relevant. What's interesting, a personal note, Metallica has a non-profit foundation, and they chose my organization that I work for as one of the organizations that they gave money to the last time they were in St. Louis, so that was really cool. I'm choosing this band, Immolation. Acts of God, one of the original greats of New York death metal. This is their last album, Acts of God, in 2022. It was my album of the year. Also a bit long. This is their debut album back in 1991, I believe, Dawn of Possession. Here's why I think they are relevant and not just a favorite of mine. Man, so many modern death metal bands are cribbing from Robert Vigna's guitar style, his dissonance. I mean, ulcerate, gore guts, sure. Gore guts is where a lot of that dissonance comes from too, but Immolation is a band that's still touring. They're still putting out some of their best albums. They're not slowing down any, according to interviews that I saw recently. So Immolation to me is a band out of all the late 80s, 90s greats that are still performing. They are the best to me, and they are still relevant for the reasons that I gave. Question 18 is about your favorite band mascot. I cheated off Marty's homework here. This is, I think, Violent Mind of Creator, Coma of Souls edition. He looks really cool on their Hate Uber Alice album from last year. Yeah, really, it looks really cool there. Creator is my choice. Show a random album, no cheating, so I just randomized my Discogs and I came up with Behemoth's The Apostasy, 2007. This is their peak death metal era. The production isn't very good. The album's not great in my opinion, but I like Behemoth. When I'm in a Behemoth mood, I tend to listen to a lot of their albums back to back, and then when I'm not in a Behemoth mood, I don't listen to them for months. I think Evangelion is my favorite of their sort of more death metal era stuff, but this is a decent entry, and that was my random pool. Question 20. Make a case for a band being a metal band that others might disagree with. Okay, this band is not on Metal Archives, and it makes no sense to me. Converge are a metalcore band. It has metal in the title. Other bands that play metalcore are on Metal Archives. This song on their last album, Reptilian, the last song, tell me that's not a sludgy thrash metal song, or a sludge metal song. The band might not identify as a metal band, but I have heard Kurt Ballou, the guitarist, talk about how they started band early on in the late 90s, mid 90s. He called themselves like hardcore kids playing Slayer riffs. And yeah, that's what I hear. The best metalcore bands really make sure they are playing metal, the metal part of their metalcore label. Converge is a metal band. They deserve to be on Metal Archives or not. Who gives a shit? But Converge is my answer. And if anything, I am one sample size of... I like hardcore, but I love metal. I don't like a lot of hardcore punk. I don't really like any punk. I like some metalcore. If I don't like that much metalcore, I don't like that much hardcore. I don't really like hardly any hardcore punk or punk. Why do I like Converge? Because they are metallic. Because they, to me, are a metal band. Those are my answers to the Metal Tag 2024. I'll put the questions in the description. If you have a YouTube channel, you should do one of these entries. It's a cool way to get to know you. If you don't have a metal channel and you're thinking about forming a channel on YouTube, this is a cool first entry. If you just aren't interested in making videos, but you want to put your answers, put them out in the comments section. I love to see them. So yeah, as always, stay metal and keep it heavy. Bye.